welcome to session 39. So today we have a short group or a small group, but we're gonna see what we can get done. So recently you had finished the tower, dealing with the Tower of Menace, and you had decided to return to civilization shortly. Um, and then we're deciding on your next phase of action after spending the night in Cephasus. So I'm going to go ahead and take you. I think it's the Cephasus map is where we're at. Yeah, we were in the morning in Cephasus. I think everybody had leveled who was here, and Cyclonin had just gotten up. He was the last to get up at 10 a.m. So it is currently 10 a.m. in the morning. So what do you guys do?
Good morning, everybody. How do we feel?
Feeling all right.
It's a good day to be a god.
I do not know about that.
Still the sour mood. That's okay. I shall be cheery for both of us, yes?
There you go.
Well, I'm not sure how everybody else was thinking about this, but Sebastian's uncle and aunt did ask us to escort him to Cantonese. Now, we also got that rather threatening message.
That is true.
How would you feel if we did a little recon? I mean, I am never been overly fond of the idea of just waiting for them to ambush us, yes? But now we have an idea of where they are, that abandoned city, or abandoned town. What if... Now, if correct me if I'm wrong, but when you were talking to the snakes, Gizzard, they described the Punk Pantheon as being, except for the large fighter type in armor, the rest of them were being described as human in nature.
I think so.
Well,
if I remember correctly.
Like myself and Darcy, we do not have the ability to see in the dark like humans do not. That's more a racial trait. So what if we
and clearly something the gods can do nothing about.
Well, obviously there are spells, but just for the natural order, they will tend to work in the daytime like we do. Yes?
Most likely.
So what if we were to sneak into the town at night, get the lay of the land? You know, maybe figure out places for ambushes, and you know, if we are lucky, we can come upon them while they are camping at night and ambush them. But you know, in the worst case scenarios, we will at least have a better idea of what we are walking into, so it is not so much of a ambush or trap.
Yeah.
Seems reasonable.
Agreed.
Okay. Well, why do we not get a good breakfast and brother, how quickly do you think you can get us to Cephasus to be dropping off Sebastian?
Considering that we are in Cephasus, I think I can get us there instantly.
Oh, sorry. Cantonese. I got the name wrong, sorry. How long would it take us to get to Cantonese?
Let me consult the map.
Alright, speaking of map, does anybody else have one, or is it just gray?
Man. That's a great question. I have a map.
It would take perhaps a couple of hours.
Okay. Well, if we were to do that, how long would it take to get to that small place, that small town? We should time it to arrive there, probably just after sunset. Maybe be able to sneak in and, under cover of darkness.
I would guess about 4 hours. It's going to take a little extra time to get over the mountains.
Okay. Are we having anything else we are wanting to do here in town first? Anybody?
I do not believe so. But I will say one thing. I have spoken to Sebastian about our new way of travel. He is quite fearful.
Well, he can face his fears, I believe. I shall help him with that if he wants.
Either way,
Everybody hates it when I try to do it.
Yes, but I won't try to deliberately scare him. Who knows?
Never.
Maybe just being a giant prehistoric bird will scare him enough.
And you're going
I
to force
assume
him
as
to
much.
do this?
No. I figure we can walk out into the jungle, get a little ways away from the city. You change into a giant prehistoric bird, and then if Sebastian balks, I will just pick him up and set him down on your back in front of us and say, hold on tight.
That sounds
So,
pretty
in the
deliberate
short-
to me.
It's either he gets on his back with help or he gets dangled thousands of feet in air. I think he would choose to ride rather than to dangle.
That is a very good assumption, Dan. I like that. You've already talked to him about it, so it is not like a complete surprise, yes?
This is true,
that
and
would
it's
help.
necessary.
All right.
I could turn him.
Perhaps that could be saved for a last resort. If we are going to be getting to this town at nightfall, maybe perhaps we'll want to conserve what power we have, just in case there's problems there.
Of course.
Alright, so shall we all wander down to the kitchen? Perhaps we'll get breakfast and get ready to be going.
I'm
Sounds
Yep.
good to me.
trying to look for my notes. I seem to have misplaced them.
Alright, so you guys gonna head downstairs?
Yep.
Alright, so as you head down there, you notice that Barrios and Onone are down in the courtyard. They have a table set up under the shade. You can see that Sebastian is there as well, and they seem to be enjoying some sort of light meal. You can see that they're eating breads and fruits, some cheeses, and wine of various sorts. And as you arrive, Barrios looks up and says, "You must have been very tired. That's the longest I've ever seen you sleep. Here, at least."
Perhaps that is why they thought I was dead.
Yeah, no, we are a little better than that, I am thinking.
So, about what we talked about yesterday regarding Sebastian, will you be available to escort him within the next few days?
Yes, I believe we were thinking about getting him to Cepezos today, and then investigating
You mean Catanese.
Catanese, blah, 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 blah. Leaving Cepezos today, getting to Catanese, and then going to investigate that ominous message. We would definitely like to nip this in the bud before they bother your family anymore.
Speak or say that last part again.
We are endeavoring to nip this in the bud so that those people do not bother your family anymore.
He nods. Well, thank you. That will save us the trouble of waiting. Your Sebastian, remember, your father is waiting to see you again. However, he once your meeting is over, you may be able to leave again. You'll have to speak to him about it. Sebastian nods.
Is there anything you need us to retrieve from Catanese while we are there? Any messages or anything?
Perhaps. Let me think about it for a moment. So he, I think you see him thinking for a moment, and Onene is saying, "So how did everyone sleep last night?"
Oh, very well.
That's
You were very
alright.
tired.
Yeah.
Good. If you ever need anything, please let the servants know. And then Barius speaks up and he says, well, if you happen to run into Simonides while you're there, you can ask him for an update on the situation with Mayon.
Will do.
Of course.
Nothing urgent, mind you. Next time you're in Cepazis, you can deliver the message. Or if it is more urgent, you can always have him send a bird.
Of course.
While you're there, actually, he hands over a money pouch. This is for him, actually, or any one of the Praxis family. If you deliver it to the household, that will be sufficient. I was thinking of giving it to Sebastian here, but perhaps it would be better to hand it to one of you. Anyway, if you can have this delivered to the household, it is simply money earned from some recent business deals, and I've been meaning to send it his way.
Of course. Go ahead.
So you get a heavy sack, and you can hear it jingle as clearly there's money inside. Tyler, if you're talking, I can't hear you.
Oh no, I'd already said
Okay.
just that I'll take the money pouch and
Okay. Well, you can enjoy a meal. There isn't a lot left given the late hour, but there is still plenty to drink, and there's some bread and cheese available for you.
excellent. Thank you.
Alright, so what do you guys do?
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and eat. Was there anything else we were wanting to do here in Cepazos?
Speak a little louder.
Was there anything else we were wanting to do here in Cepazos today before we head off?
Is there anything teal that might be interesting?
Oh yes, thank you for reminding me. It is a good idea. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a small scrap of paper and write a quick little note on it. I'm gonna hand it to, or actually, I'm just gonna put it in Gavel's claw and whisper in his ear, to go find. Second, I'll think of it.
Go find what?
Vulcan.
Crazy
That's his name,
dude.
Oh, okay.
Vulcan. Vulcan, yeah. And it's like, go deliver this to Vulcan quickly and come back, please.
Alright, so he
And,
goes off. What does the note say?
The note says, please make the wraps on my order teal with teal tassels.
Okay. So from
What's
what
the last thing that should happen? Oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
So from what you remember, the order should be ready tomorrow.
Yes, that's why he hasn't gotten to that step in the process yet. So this is something that can be done.
Okay. All right. So the bird flies off. What are the rest of you doing?
I should probably do a bit of meditation.
Can you teach me?
Please.
I've always wanted to learn to meditate.
Ah,
Well, this is more communing with nature and allowing it to guide my capabilities for the day.
Mhm. Oh, I see. All right, I'll leave you alone then.
If Judge is wanting to operate at night, then perhaps I need to prepare for that consideration. Also, there is something else. I do now, at least in theory, have the ability to eavesdrop on others for short periods of time. I'm wondering if it would be wise to purchase a focus so that I could actually do so.
that would be a good idea. Is it something you would be doing yourself really quick, or would you like us to go and take care of that while you are meditating?
I would probably do so myself, but I'd have to decide what sort of focus I want to get. It's
All right,
undoubtedly going to be quite expensive.
I see.
And if you have any brief errands, feel free to do so. I'm just going to need to think for a moment.
Okay. So sounds like you're going to do your daily preparations first, right?
Yeah.
So that'll take you an hour. So what's everybody else doing during the hour?
Oh, can I prep my new spells? I need to get them on my spell list.
Yeah, I mean, if you got them when you leveled up, then yeah, you're free to use them. So go ahead and you can take an hour as well.
No, I mean, they weren't actually in the spell
Oh,
list.
those. Yeah, I actually forgot to do that. Sorry, we probably won't get to the point where you need them today. So, but yeah,
All right.
I'll definitely have to remember to do that for next session.
Not a
No
problem. Not
worries.
a problem. Right, well.
Brazin, did you say
Caesar,
something?
No, I just said no worries, because I also need spells from the Warlock tree.
Yeah, if they're combat spells, then yeah, you probably won't need them this session.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it.
All right. Well,
But if you want to message me in Discord the spells again, just as a reminder, that would be good.
Yeah, no, that sounds good.
Okay, so
Darcy.
while everybody is preparing, Darcy, what are you doing, if anything?
She will probably, I guess wander around town, maybe take Sebastian with her as a companion.
Okay.
And also probably talk to him a little bit about, how we plan on taking him home, kind of get him further prepared because it's happening whether he likes it or not.
Oh, I see. So what do you say to him exactly?
I guess while they're just, walking around town, she's just gonna, in general, she's already told him how they've gotten around before.
Yeah.
So she's gonna kind of hint towards it, but not directly saying. She's like, you should be more open to new experiences. Because sometimes you can't avoid things, and it's just best that you keep an open mind so things aren't as stressful when they happen.
Yeah, and as you do so, he kind of gives you, a glint of acknowledgement. Not necessarily agreeing, but not disagreeing either. I'm gonna go ahead and give. So you don't have access to your sheet, so I'm gonna go ahead and make a persuasion check for you to see how well you get your point across. Or would you rather me do deception? Are you trying to kind of sneak it in? You know, kind of be kind of stealthy with your approach, or are you just kind of just talking to him about it and being more open?
She's being open about it. Kind of, because she doesn't want to deceive him, because he's already having issues with trusting the process of anything supernatural. So she doesn't want to be sneaky about it, but she kind of just wants to be a little open about it, like, hey, weird stuff happens. You should keep an open mind. It'll make things better for you.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a persuasion check for you, and I added your bardic inspiration. Something probably went off in a corner and did that or whatever to help yourself out, which gives you a 25. And so with your 25, you're finding that Sebastian is simultaneously scared out of his mind, but he's at the same time he's excited to fly. So it's like, if you promise I'll be safe, actually I kind of want to try.
Good. It's an experience that most people never have. So consider yourself blessed.
Okay. His voice is shaky, but he actually seems a bit excited about it. As,
you know what? He can
Cyclonin,
have healing breath.
prepares Revivify.
It's fine. Everything's fine. We have the stone.
Now, did it actually pop a notification for you on that?
For me, it did. It did not for everybody else. So I.
Okay. Yeah, I just thought it was hilarious the timing, since I in fact had.
It popped up. Yeah. I figured it would be a secret, but for the future, it does pop up for me, but not everybody else. So if you ever do want to be a secret, let me know in advance.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Darcy's out seeing the sights and talking Sebastian into flying. Cyclonin is busy preparing his spells since he got up late. So Gizzard, what are you doing?
What am I doing? That's a great question.
I mean, at the moment, you're probably sitting at the table, picking at bread and cheese. But what are you going to do, I should say?
I'm a commune with my snake. How's it going? Are you enjoying?
Go ahead and give me a nature check.
Yeah, we'll do. How we doing? This is not.
With your 20, okay. You seem to know a lot about the snake, and it seems to be doing surprisingly well, considering how often it's cooped up and everything. It's probably it seems to be happy about the meal you just gave it recently.
Wonderful. I'm gonna take him for a walk.
All right.
I'm gonna go somewhere kind of off my own, in like maybe a park or something, if there is such thing. And walk my
trails and parks, and there's a whole outside area outside the town, which is all jungle. So there's plenty of nature to get to.
I'm gonna go to one of the trails, and I'm gonna walk my snake.
All right. So, Judge, while everybody else is off doing their own thing, you saw Gizzard kind of wander off with the snake. What are you gonna do? What are you doing?
Okay.
Let's see here.
You got about an hour, so whatever it is you're doing, you can take it up to an hour.
He's going to be reading that partial scroll, that spell scroll that was unfinished, and he doesn't know it. he's going to go ahead and try and figure out what that is and what that's about. I don't know if you want me to do an Arcana check to.
Yeah, you
make
can go
any
and give me an
progress
Arcana
on it.
check to see what you can figure out.
Okay. In the privacy of in the privacy of Barrius's home, I will go ahead and give myself
Yeah, you can just go up to your room and be by yourself.
guidance. Yep, I will give myself guidance. Okay, come on.
Okay.
Click the thing.
Okay, with 19, you look at the spell and you realize there are some bits of knowledge that some gaps that are keeping you from being able to complete the spell, but you do get a sort of sense of what it is. It's a spell that actually allows you to create a sort of helm or a magical device that allows a ship of a certain size to fly through the air, kind of like it would the sea. There are limits on how high it can go. It can't go into space, for example. Limits on how fast it can go, of course. And you know that once you create it, it can fly faster horizontally on a horizontal plane than it can vertically. So it takes a while to raise, but once you're raised up, then it can go faster. You also figure out that there's some sort of component it needs that seems to be rather rare, but you don't know the details. You think the Oracle might.
Definitely something to look into. Very interesting. Excellent.
Right, so I'm going to go ahead and advance the hour, actually, since figuring that stuff out probably would have taken you about that long. So an hour passes. Darcy, you've kind of wandered around the town. Gizzard, you walked your snake for a while and probably head back when you're done. Cyclonin, you're done with your preparations. And Judge, you've kind of figured out what you can about that spell. An hour has passed, so you're back together again. What do you do?
So, how are we all doing?
Basically just wrapping up my meditation.
Okay. Now you said you were needing a focus? What sort of thing are you thinking of? I mean, is it something nature-based, or would you prefer like a lens or a crystal? What is it you're trying to accomplish here?
I do not know what I want to use exactly as a focus. There is some flexibility for that. I've been busy trying to decide what would be best to be ready to do, assuming we run into our adversaries.
Excellent idea. Well, shall we head off to the market and peruse? Perhaps you can find such an object in the curio shops?
Well, the thing is, even if I were to obtain these right now, I would only be able to do this once. With no guarantee that it would provide us with any useful information. So I am not certain if it is worth trying to do right now.
Okay. Well, otherwise, if we are ready, we can head off. It is quite nearly noon. If we get to Cantonese soon enough, and then leave from there to go to our end destination, we should be arriving there somewhere around dusk. Yes.
Thereabouts.
All right. Well, shall we pack and gather our things and head out of town? Sebastian, make sure you're packed and have everything you're needing. Perhaps for an adventure.
catches up and he says, "You see, he's got a backpack."
I think you're muted.
Sorry. Sebastian kind of runs up. You can see he's got his backpack. He's got his sword at his side. You can see under his clothes that he's wearing some sort of armor. He says, "Yeah, I'm ready to go."
Excellent. I'm very glad you showed up with a sword and armor and not a t-shirt and a bottle of wine. You're getting better. You'll be an adventurer yet, my friend.
I'm gonna make sure he's gonna travel with you, so consider him part of the group token for now.
Okay.
All right.
Does he question my route any?
Does he question your route any?
Yeah, because we're going to Katniss.
Oh, yeah. As you're going, he seems to be looking around as if he's nervous for some reason. And he's following along, and you can see his palms are sweaty, and he's kind of bouncing on his feet. But he's not saying anything.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Darcy kind of told me about stuff, and yeah. Let's just get out of town.
No wonder you haven't even noticed we're going out the wrong gate.
Oh, what?
Yeah, we go out the south gate.
All right.
All right. So we'll go ahead and travel east a bit out to about here.
Okay.
Yeah, this seems far enough away from town. Try to find some area where the trees block line of sight.
Yep. So you can see Sebastian kind of looking around. It's like, where is it?
You are looking at it.
He looks at you, puzzled.
I certainly hope you handle this better than you do my normal form. You might want to back up. I need a little wing clearance.
It's fine. I can
Judge
make it.
will.
I am going to be
Judge
very
will-
large in a moment.
Judge will kind of grab him by the shoulder and pull him back a little bit as he's pulling out a rope and getting ready to kind of pull up the harness.
Okay.
All right.
Yep.
So
Flintstone air.
once everything's all clear around me, I go ahead and wild shape and splay out my
So
wings.
as he sees you shape, he sees the wings coming out. All of a sudden, he lets out a blood-curdling scream, "Ah!" and he tries to run.
Judge grabs him by the back of the neck. That's why he was there holding. Just grabs him by his collar.
You grab him. Go ahead and give me a strength check.
Strength or dexterity to make sure he doesn't slip away.
We're going to do strength because you already had your hand on his shoulder, so this isn't an issue of hitting him. This is whether you can keep hold of him.
Alrighty.
Can I
Good
prepare a
luck.
spell in case he doesn't get him?
Well, let's
Good
see
luck
how this
to
works.
me.
Okay, so you do manage to hold on to him, but you swear he got stronger all of a sudden.
Adrenaline, that strange thing that you humans have. It works wonders, I see.
This is exactly why I'd been trying to get him accustomed to us.
So you're holding him. He's just screaming. He's trying to run. He's kind of running in place. So what do you guys do?
It's probably not going to work, but in the most soothing telepathic voice I can muster, you are safe, Sebastian. You will not experience any harm as you travel above the ground.
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Let's see. Not that I'm any good at those.
All right, and let's see. I'm just gonna go ahead and roll for him. I'm gonna make an intelligence check for him. Not that one. I want this one. However, you're gonna have more dice than we need. We only need the d20. Okay, so he calms down and he kind of looks around and he says, you could let me go now. I get it now. I don't know why I freaked out like that. I said I was ready for it. I already knew what was going to happen. But he was just so much bigger and scarier than I expected.
As long as you are not going to make me run. And I let him go.
He kind of just stands there weakly. And then he kind of just, his knees give out and he just goes down onto his butt.
Sebastian, despite this seemingly monstrous form, it is still me.
Okay, if you say so.
And just gonna start rigging up the harness as best he can.
Alright.
Make sure he is in the middle.
Yeah.
And I did prepare insurance, so no matter how this flight goes, he should be fine.
Yes, I think we can all do something.
You might want to verify that he has his diamonds.
Ah, yes. You do have your diamond, yes? To Sebastian.
Oh, sorry. I have it.
Okay. Where is it?
Here, he kind of gives it to you.
No. You keep it on you. I just need to know which pocket it's in to grab it quickly.
Okay, it's right here. And he shows you.
Okay. All right. Okay, yeah, he's got everything set there, my brother. See, and Sebastian hears me talking out loud, and the bird is just kind of staring.
Yeah.
Well, Sebastian, we will start out low and slow so that you can get accustomed to this. If anything goes wrong, the only thing that will be wounded is your pride slightly.
Okay.
So
do I even have any of that left?
Of course you do. It may not be much. We're trying to get more out of you, but there's still a little in there, I believe.
You have been chosen by the gods. There must be some amount of pride.
Okay.
If not, you will get some.
How would we like to get on board there? Darcy, where would you like to be sitting, and where would you like to place Sebastian?
Hopefully between two people who can keep him safe.
All right. Well, perhaps Mr. Gizzard, if you would like to get on first, Darcy can be right behind you, and then we will put Sebastian behind Darcy, and I will be at the end.
Sounds good.
Perfect. You can be the perfect windbreaker. As she adjusts her hair for flight.
Okay. All right. So you guys start loading on there. Go ahead and advance some time here. Takes you a while to get everything situated, get Sebastian on and calm down, and so forth. All right. So you get everybody on, and everybody kind of in your harness, like we did last time. So, like before, Cyclonin, I'll have you make a acrobatics check to see how stable you can be.
All right.
With a little guidance.
Okay.
If Darcy's going to give him any inspiration too, because she's the one that fell off last time.
I remember, wasn't it actually an athletics check before?
Sorry, say it again?
I remember, I thought it was an athletics check before.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, fair enough. We'll do that then. We should be consistent.
Darcy, were you going to give him a inspiration on that too, or no?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Didn't know if you were in a dead zone.
All the pluses to this trip so we can get off the air good and safe.
Yeah. So you've got a D8 and a D4, Cyclonin.
All right. Now I guess I'll roll the D4 and the D8 just to see what I'm working with. So +5 to this roll. 13. Yeah, I guess I needed it.
All right, so an 18 total. All right, so yeah, you take off. You manage to be relatively stable. Despite that, however, Darcy, you can feel Sebastian clinging onto you from behind, and you feel a warmth, a wet warmth as you fly off.
Oh no!
Oh, there
Sebastian.
There goes the rest of the tribe.
Doesn't feel great to two people right now.
Hey, does anybody have a prestidigitation?
Yes.
Need to clean up over here.
Judge sitting behind everybody will go ahead and just kind of reach around forward and wave his hand and prestidigitate at least a few times, making sure to get Darcy first in order to prevent any more explosions, and then cleaning up the rest.
Fair enough.
Prestidigitate, prestidigitate, prestidigitate.
Alrighty.
And she's gonna look back at Sebastian. She's like, "Well, at least your bladder is empty now. Let's not have anything else happen."
Now I always misunderstood why people ask, did you go to the bathroom before the trip?
Sorry.
All right. Well, so yeah, I'm kind of flying low to the ground just to be used to this. And are you ready for a gain in altitude, Sebastian?
Okay.
All right, I'll go a little higher and kind of start buzzing over the treetops.
Okay. Let me see if I can do this. 30. There you go. So you shouldn't have to move right over them, and they shouldn't obscure your view anymore. And I believe we decided on 32 hexes for a turn, right?
Yeah, it's basically 8 hexes an hour.
All right, so go ahead and move your 32 hexes.
All right, and then how does Sebastian react as we get over the water?
He's looking. You can see. If anybody were to look at him, he's just kind of white right now, and so he's just kind of reacting to everything the same. But fortunately for Darcy, his bladder is indeed empty.
All right.
So that would be an hour so far.
Yep. As we're over the water, I'll continue to gain some altitude, and look, Sebastian, if you look to the south, you can see Catanese.
Yeah. You can see that everybody else can see that Sebastian is looking at Darcy's back. Straight. Pretty much just that.
We must concentrate on not fainting.
Alright, so I'll just pass another hour by the time you get there. So yeah, you can just go ahead and make your way to where you're going to land.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and land here because there's like a nice little alcovey spot. And then we'll walk to the road and then into Catanese.
Okay, so if you're going to land, go ahead and give me another athletics check and see how that landing goes. All right, so
can I give him another?
Cyclone
Can I give him another?
Can
Can I give him another guidance as we're coming in for a landing?
Yeah, I suppose you would know in advance. So go ahead.
An inspirational landing with guidance.
Sure.
Because that one didn't do
So
much.
we're at 13 so far.
Oh, wait, here.
Oh,
want
sorry.
me to do that for you?
She can't roll. Okay,
Yeah.
Got it. D8.
Here. Oh, there you go.
All right. Fair enough. So
I'll
you
take the
managed to land successfully without knocking anybody off. It jostles Sebastian a little bit, and then as soon as you stop moving, you see Sebastian just kind of diving to the ground.
It was.
He lands with a thud, and just kind of lays there.
Oh, come on, Sebastian. That was a pleasant flight. It was nice and smooth over the water.
If you
Easy
say
to fly.
so. And then he turns over and starts kissing the ground.
That is not necessary. It's dirty.
That is
You
not.
know,
You will get used to it eventually.
wouldn't this count as some form of sacrilege, Darcy?
No, he's not worshiping it. He's, if anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure why this isn't showing up. Let me see if I can fix that.
I was
meant
actually
more.
trying to mess with that, yeah.
I meant more his lack of faith in the gods.
I think he's more of the lack of faith in the giant talking bird.
And he is a god, so
Well, I
gods
have
can
to
do a great
admit,
many
as
things.
far as giant flying creatures go that can talk, I suppose I am quite ordinary.
Now that you mention it, I think that's pretty true. For most flying creatures that can talk, I think you're fairly ordinary. Because I think most flying magical creatures that can talk are quite extraordinary in general. So
Yeah, it should be on Observer already, so I don't know why you can't see it. But Katniss is right here. Right.
You know, if he continues to be difficult, we should expose him to your pet and my own comparable wild shape form.
true. Mine isn't even magical. If he's scared of that, then I mean, unreasonable. No, there's nothing scary about a massive snake. Come on, come on.
Especially one that's doesn't even have to unhinge its jaw to swallow you.
Exactly. Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's not terrifying at all. If that's terrifying, then I'm terrifying, technically.
2, 3. Okay. So you you guys get to Katniss. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon, and so I'll go ahead and take you to the Katniss map. It's actually been a while since we've been on that one. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and delete most of these. And we'll go ahead and put the group. There we are. Alright, so you arrive in Katniss, and Sebastian seems to be in better spirits now. He says, that was really fast. I can see why you guys like doing that. But, what was it I heard? If the gods wished us to fly, we would have wings?
Well, yes. If we wished you to fly, you would have wings. That does not mean we cannot take you with us when we wish to fly.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well, it is funny you say that, Sebastian, because the gods have chosen many champions in their day and have granted them abilities to fly.
oh sure, but they're champions, of course. They were prepared for it. They could do it.
And they
No.
often have the ability to cast it on others.
Okay,
And
but those are special.
no.
Well, special
no,
circumstances.
And you being targeted by another pantheon is not special circumstances.
And you're also wrong, Sebastian. Those other champions, you say they were ready for it and everything like that. No, they were not. Just like you. They were unsure and unready. You must have faith in your gods. After all, one day you will be called champion, will you not? Why you think else we are here?
Okay. Well, I'll at least need a break before I fly again.
Well, it is lucky for you your break is right here in the town.
Yeah.
Exactly. You get to have break and go back to studying and have mundane lives and responsibilities. Though, back to the speaking of champions, do remember, champions are not born, they are made.
He looks at you and it's like, okay, I get it. I understand, but flying is still scary. And he sticks out his tongue at you.
Kind of put my hand on Sebastian's shoulder. Ms. Darcy may have some assignments for you. Things that I would suggest you work very hard on, but just for me personally, I wish to hear about some improvement in your swordplay. And I kind of shuffle him over towards Darcy as we start moving down the street.
All right, so yeah, he just kind of goes along with you. So as you start moving down the street, where are you going?
We're going to Sebastian's home, I believe.
Okay.
Is that not where we're taking him?
So in that case,
Anywhere else?
Sebastian will kind of lead the way, and he takes you to the Proxilus estate. And as you get close, you see this large gated, gated estate. You can see there's multiple buildings involved, and it's basically a whole block of the city is basically the estate. As you arrive at one of the gates, the guards seem to recognize Sebastian, and he looks up and he says, obviously I'm Sebastian again. My father asked me to return, and these are my friends. They were asked by my Uncle Barius to escort me here. Of course, they should be paid the requisite amount, and one of the guards looks over at the group and he says, I understand, Sebastian. So, which of you is the leader of this group?
Tavros seems to be absent at the moment.
We don't necessarily have a leader, but I will take payment to distribute if that makes it easier for you.
So he hands you a money pouch. Inside is 100 mithna, and he says, I have heard that you've been escorting Sebastian around, not just from Sepezus, but also you escorted him to Sepezus initially and have helped him see a bit of the world. So I've been told to pay you this money. It is but a token, of course, but it's something. So thank you for keeping him safe. And Sebastian, you please head inside. And he kind of opens the gate. And Sebastian turns around and says, well, everybody, I guess this is where we part ways for a while. I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but are you guys going to come back soon?
Oh, I intend to think we'll be coming back soon, but this is not quite where we part ways. I do have a message for your father from Barius.
Oh, right. Yeah, he looks at the guard. He says, well, you heard he has a message. And then the guard looks your way, and he says, if you have it written down, please give it to Sebastian, because unfortunately he is not available at the moment. However, Sebastian, you can deliver a message to your father, can you not? Sebastian nods. And then he looks at you, Judge.
Judge takes out that heavy sack of cash, makes eye contact with the guard as he's handing it to Sebastian. Your father is already knowing what that is for.
Oh, yes, he told me, Barius told me about this. He was originally going to give it to me, but yeah, he thought it would be safer if you carry it. Thank you. He takes the money.
I don't suppose you could put together some sort of sealed note to confirm that we were here and dropped off Sebastian and the money.
Sorry. So you.
A receipt, if you will.
A receipt of delivery to
Oh, I
prevent us from being
understand.
accused of any wherewithal.
Yes. Please. He takes you. He escorts you inside the gate to a guardhouse, and he.
Yeah. Although, before Sebastian goes too far, I'm going to ask him one quick question.
Go ahead.
Sebastian, can you think of any sort of items that interest your uncle?
Sorry. What about my uncle?
Any item that would interest your uncle? Perhaps if you had to purchase something for him that was illuminated, what would you choose?
Oh, actually, my uncle talked about this thing. I forget what he called it, but apparently, if you put a light inside of it and you shine through, you would see pictures, kind of like colored glass. Maybe it is colored glass. But then there was some way of changing what those pictures were. Not quickly, but you can at least, you could change it and kind of like change the pictures, and then you'd see the, like by changing these panels, and that would allow you to, tell a story or whatever. I guess you would engrave the panels or something. I don't know how it was made, but anyway, he seemed to want to get one of these at some point.
And how are these things normally illuminated?
I don't know. I heard about it in the. I think he heard about it when he was staying on the mainland, from some foreign country or foreign polis. But it, I don't know. It was just some way of showing different pictures using light.
Thank you. I'll give that some thought.
Okay.
That is all.
He heads off. Anyway, they take you into a guardhouse, and the guard kind of pulls out a scroll, and you see him write a note on there, and then he looks up at you, Judge, since you were the one who asked for the receipt, and he says, "What's your name?"
Actually, I'm the one who asked for the receipt.
Okay, so yes, you then. What's for your name?
Go ahead.
El Gato.
Oh, I've actually heard that name before. Okay, interesting. He writes it down, and then he rolls it up, and then you see him put a seal on there, a wax seal on there, and you recognize it to be the symbol for House Praxilus. You've seen it at Barris's house, and then he hands you the scroll.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I tip my hat to you.
He nods. And then the guards escort you back out to the gate. And the guard who's speaking to you before says, "Well, thanks again for taking care of Sebastian. He needs to see more of the world and learn how things work. And this is going to sound strange, but, well, maybe not so strange. He needs to grow up. And so thank you."
He needs to get a little more comfortable around animals for certain.
Yes.
Has he ever ridden a horse?
I've ridden a horse, yes.
No, has Sebastian?
I don't believe so. I don't think there is a use for horses here very much. They don't handle this climate very well. There are chariot races, so we do have some horses, but I don't believe Sebastian's had the need to ride one.
Perhaps some riding lessons would be good for him, not just here on the island, but as an overall rounding out of his education.
It's not a bad idea. I will bring it up with his father.
Well, we should probably be on our way. Actually, Perhaps we need to go over to the Agora.
All right. So you head that way. And you arrive, and it's as busy, as packed as ever. By the time you get there, it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So what are you going to do?
Well, I guess I'll start by looking for 50 gold worth of powdered ruby.
Okay, so
Oh, wow.
you're looking for a jeweler of some kind then?
Sure.
All right, so eventually you wind up finding, you find a couple of people who, who are selling jewels. If you're looking for quality, go ahead and give me a perception check to see if you can, kind of tell their stuff apart.
What do you mean by quality exactly? Because I mean, since it's just powdered ruby, I don't need like a single solid, nicely cut one. I just need it to be.
Fair enough. I meant if you were trying to judge who was the better jeweler, kind of thing. But yeah, if it doesn't matter, then never mind. So you definitely find a jeweler. You can see that he's got some jewels on display. You can see he's got equipment for cutting and examining jewels. And as you arrive, he says, "Welcome, welcome. You interested in giving a significant other, perhaps your friend here?" And he gestures toward Darcy. A nice engagement gift.
No, thank you.
Oh no.
She has standards. Not
Exactly.
related to your wares.
Oh, my
Also, he
apologies.
couldn't afford me.
I see. All right. So what? How can I help you?
I could use a quantity of powdered ruby dust for some experiments.
Ruby dust, huh? Yes, we could certainly do that. How much do you need?
I go ahead and indicate roughly 50 gold worth.
Okay, so he nods. All right, so the materials will be about 60 mithna. I'll have to grind it up, so that'll be another 5 mithna charge there. So 65 mithna, and I can have it to you in an hour.
Sounds fair. 65, so...
All right, then. Your name, please? And he gets out a scroll.
Elgato.
He writes it down. All right, then. You can return in an hour. I'll have it ready for you. You can pay half in advance and the other half when you pick up your goods, or you can pay it all depending on whatever you're comfortable with.
I'll just pay it now to be done with it.
Fair enough. He takes the 65 mithna and puts it away. All right, please return in an hour.
All right, and guess I'm gonna look through the Agora and see if I can find anything that might make a good scrying spell focus.
Okay. Let's see, 5e. Oh, I see. Okay. So as you're looking around, you do see a particularly interesting shop that seems it seems to have all sorts of weird exotic items. It has this really fancy looking crystal ball with this kind of gold base. It's got silvery mirrors. It's got bags with you can see bones in there, bones of some sort of dried bones of some sort of animal. You can see weird misshapen dice. You can see wooden cards with strange symbols on there and words such as death written on there, and similar items. And you see an old woman it's kind of a tent, and you see an old woman behind a table, and the smell of incense, hits you as you get close. And she looks your way, and she says, "Come over here, Sonny. I feel like we were destined to meet. Who might you be?"
I am El Gato.
"Ah, I am Magatha. So what brings you here today? This does, doesn't it?" And she points up at the crystal ball.
Something like that would be useful.
"I see." And then she pushes a deck of wooden cards in front of you, and she says, "Pull any card you like from there." So what do you do?
Well, truly, it is rather the card I would prefer to draw is not one at all.
Well, perhaps one of your friends would like to draw one.
Well, the Gizzard seems to be one who loves to test the whims of fate.
I'll take a card.
All right, so what part of the deck do you take it from? Do you take it from the top, the middle, the bottom, that kind of thing?
Let's do the middle.
Okay, so you take out a card from the middle, and as you turn it over, you can see a picture of some sort of black figure, and the black figure is standing near a boat that seems to be floating on a river. And you notice, though, that the boat, because the cards are colored, and the boat seems to be a silvery or maybe iron color. And the black figure is standing in the boat with the oar kind of, he's holding an oar or a stick that's sticking into the water. And above that, the word death is written. And she looks, it's like, just as I thought. Death hangs over you.
Well then.
And she puts the cards away. And so, how can I help you?
Why does death hang over me exactly? You have any idea?
It is the will of the gods.
Is it my own death?
Perhaps. Perhaps the death of all of you.
Oh,
Perhaps the
well,
death of a loved one. But a death hangs over you.
I see. That makes sense.
So it tells the past, huh?
Yes. So,
Definitely.
you had your eye on the crystal ball? You see a crystal ball, you see a silver mirror, and you see a number of similar objects.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything that's a little non-standard that might be fun to have as a shrine focus.
You want a magic mirror?
Well, one
Is there
thing
really
that she does
expensive
have
jewelry?
is she does have silver-plated bones, and they seem to be marked up to basically where you throw the bones, and the configuration of bones shows you your fortune. Or answers a question, or that kind of thing. Shows an number.
Is there a particularly ornate jeweler's eye?
Sorry, say that a little louder.
Is there a particularly ornate jeweler's eye?
Yeah. You can see, yeah, you can definitely see one that seems to be made from gold encrusted with gems, and the lens seems particularly clear.
Hearing what Cyclonin had said, Judge just kind of nonchalantly points that one out, just, for consideration.
Damn it.
What's wrong?
Just trying to think of something interesting. I think I'd probably default to a mirror if I can't think of anything better, but
I kind of like the mirror idea, to be honest.
Mirror, mirror.
Exactly.
Well, you know what a jeweler's eye looks like, right, Dave?
yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking of something that, at least in theory, would work better with spectators, even if spectators can't necessarily actually see it.
Oh. Oh, I got. Never mind. I can't do that. I do have an idea of something for spectators as well. For a small,
I got an idea.
maybe hand. Oh, go ahead.
I'm thinking of a codex. Imagine basically a book.
Yeah.
Think like a picture book, except in this case, when you open it up, instead of just like a pop-out folding picture sort of thing, it's actually the vision of whatever it is you see. So it's kind of like a holographic picture book. And this might be one of those where, as part of the ritual to prepare for it in this book, it'll almost be like a journal / picture book. You kind of write down what it is that you would want, or that you're trying to do. And then basically, once the ritual's done, the ink disappears, and then, the book opens out to the middle, and then that's when the scene just sort of almost seems like it unfolds out, but then you get kind of the holographic type view.
Are you gonna need this to be enchanted?
No, just needs to be expensive.
You mean like that scene in Harry Potter?
Haven't seen very many of those. I'll have to take your word for it. But it sounds like the kind of thing they'd do.
There's a book that if you write in it, it'll talk back to you and reveal secrets. But it's very specific.
So is there anything like that? A codex that's almost like a really crazy ornate journal or something?
Okay.
Fine archival grade paper.
So as you look around, you do see you do see three codexes. One is leathery, where the surface could be some sort of dried skin, and you can see that on top of that, it has ornate edging like gold, and in the center there's some sort of sapphire that's embedded. That if you look at it, the right way, it looks almost like an eye, and then the pages each each page basically has gold trimming on it and that kind of thing. The second one is also ornate, but more of a some sort of black, perhaps leather surface, but it's some sort of dust has been mixed in with it, some sort of shiny dust, perhaps diamond dust. and so it catches the light and kind of has this sheen to it. And then the third one looks like it's also some sort of leather, but it almost looks like dragon skin or something like that, where you can kind of see there's actually or more like dragon scales. There's actually kind of the scaly effect where somebody put these metallic scales on there, and it has an iridescent light to it.
When you say metallic, you don't mean like actual metal, just that it's got that kind of sheen to it? Yeah. Okay. This scaly one seems interesting.
Are you interested in these? Each of these is a codex, meant to be very personal. The legends say that these were made by... These designs were made by ancients who used them as grimoires. Not that such a thing actually exists, of course, she chuckles. But nevertheless, there's something almost mystical about them. However, they are rather expensive, and they will cost you a good 100 to 110 gold mithna.
How much for the scaly one in particular?
That one's a little, that's the 110. So in meta terms, it would meet the 1,000 gold limit requirement, but with a little bit of markup on top.
Go ahead and take that one.
Very good. So she takes your 1,010, 1,100 Mithna book, and takes the money.
All right. Well, I believe we are done here.
Actually, is there a looking glass?
I thought you guys had got one of those already.
Do we?
You guys
No, like a mirror, not a mirror. Sorry. Yeah, like not a mirror.
Yeah, there was a silver mirror, but it was fairly large and expensive. There are steel mirrors, which are much more normal in price. So yeah, you can see the steel mirrors. Those are about 50 Mithna.
So they have handheld ones?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Are they just have jewelry and crap on them and just made pretty and that's it?
Exactly. They're just they're steel mirrors, but they're gussied up.
I'll take it.
Okay, so she takes it, or she gives it to you for 50 Mithna.
All right, someone do the math. I can't touch anything or do anything.
Oh, right. I will subtract it from your inventory. So what would that be? 483. Okay. All right, it has been subtracted. Oh, and you need to add it too. So
yeah.
What would that
be?
You're
gonna have to do all of the above.
Add jewel encrusted, steel.
Silver looking mirror, personal mirror, I guess.
And I'll find an image for it later, but it's in your inventory. You can change the name if you want once you get it, or once you have access.
Well, shall we be on our way then?
Sure. Sounds good.
Okay, so by the time you're done shopping, looking around, it's about 3:30 in the afternoon. So what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna head out of town, going more or less northwest, basically back to where we landed.
All right. All right, you should be able to see the map now.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah,
so you get back to the jungle. So you can move another 4 hours for the... Yeah, so another 32 hexes.
Is everybody ready to travel?
I don't feel we're not. Yeah.
All right, go ahead and wild shape back into the Quetzalcoatlus.
All right, so that'll be a to take off and fly DC 10 athletics check.
With the
If you can't fail, then you don't have to roll. I don't remember what your bonus is.
I think it's technically possible. It is.
Okay.
But not with that roll.
Fair enough. All right, go for it.
Wait, that's weird. Oh no, that's right. Okay. Okay. Let me just double check something on the map first. Yeah, we'll just fly out over the water first. Whoops. Getting all confused here. All right.
So, yeah, you start flying over the water. You notice down below that the currents, you can see the water itself seems to be churning a bit. And as you start flying across the water, you notice that there's a cloud layer that seems to be right over the water. And if you cross right through, you'll be basically passing through through that cloud layer. Or that fog layer, I should say.
Is the fog layer over covering this spot at all?
Yeah, it's basically covering as you get closer to the middle of the water, it seems to be over the water.
All right, well, stick with the coast then. Oh, which actually, that might actually be useful. Let me double check something else on my map. I believe there was some sort of settlement on the coast. Perhaps something with was it the Naga or whatever? You might want to keep an eye out below to see if we spot anything.
Excellent, I will. Anybody else would like to keep an eye out?
As you're traveling, you can see over here, off in the distance, you can make out a large waterfall.
Yeah, that is certainly familiar. Let's see, 7. I think, actually, yeah, I don't want to be cutting left. So go ahead and start going over land here. So that should be the first hour.
7, 8. All right. So the sun is getting lower in the sky, and the waterfall is right here.
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this whole time I'm trying to gain altitude and spot that pass I took before.
Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and give me a perception check. Or survival will work, actually, as well. All right, so that is good enough. The DC was 15. So you do remember the pass was about here in the mountains, and you can kind of see evidence of it. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of, there you go, move you over.
Mm-hmm.
And here, I don't know why the images aren't showing up right now. It's a Foundry's acting up. But here's the Mines of Idian. You've seen them before.
Mm-hmm.
And here is the Salt Lake, which you saw before.
All right, so from here, let's just go ahead and.
Okay. And here's the town. You'd be able to see it normally. So so I'm going past an hour there. So as you approach the town, you can see that it is still covered in that fog. The sun is starting to set, and you can see that it's very difficult to make out much details about the town from the sky. So what do you do?
Go ahead and look. Does anybody see a good place to land?
So yeah, near the town, there are some flat sections of sand near the river that are outside the town. So you know, you probably here or here or here.
I'll go ahead and aim for here specifically.
Fair enough.
And come in for a landing.
All right, so you go ahead and land. Go ahead and give me an athletics check, DC 10.
All right. Whoops. Keep using the wrong character sheet.
Is it just me, or does no one else get the little icons on the map right now?
There you go. You make it, but that is the lowest roll you can roll and still make it. Go ahead, Tyler. Repeat yourself.
Is it just me, or can no one else see the icons
They're
on
not
the map
showing
right now?
up. It's something Foundry's acting up today, so I don't know why.
Okay.
But the town is actually right here.
Okay.
So that's why I've been pointing out these things directly because of that.
All right.
All right, so once you land, you can kind of see there's an old bridge leading over the river to the town. The town seems to be on one side of the river. You can see that the plants are sickly. The ground is near the river is green in color, but it's more of a kind of a darker green, almost black in some places. So you land in the sand. So what do you do?
Well, once everybody's disembarked, I'll change back to my normal form.
All right. So, yep, it's definitely evening. It's about 6 o'clock. The sun hasn't completely gone down yet. So do you want to wait or do you want to head?
Perhaps we can approach under cover of darkness with a little more stealth. Just looking around, seeing the kind of sickliness. Am I close enough to get like a feel for it, or to try and examine it a little bit?
You can't really. You'd have to kind of be up, you know, basically near the river to get more of a sense. You can see it from a distance, but it's not. You're not close enough to really learn anything.
Okay. Well,
you're still about a mile away from the town.
Oh, okay. Well, shall we approach quietly under cover of darkness? Yes.
Then we can go ahead and rest here for an hour and then make our way.
I believe that would help you. Yes, that would be good. You had said something about having the ability to allow one to see in the dark. Did you have that prepared, or is that just something you were thinking of?
I did, in fact, prepare it.
Yeah. Perhaps after our rest, you can oblige those who do not have the capability to be seen in the dark.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Don't move. I'll be right back.
Alrighty, let's see. And that's something I don't think can be upcast. Nope. Alright, so let's see. I'm the only one present right now who actually has dark vision.
Not anymore.
Oh, you got it?
Rip.
Nowadays, I do.
Nice. Team Pointy Teeth for the win.
Exactly.
Alright, well. In that case, when Jeremy gets back, I will go ahead and cast Dark Vision on both Judge and Darcy, and then I will take the rest. Because I'm also going to Wild Shape before taking the rest.
All right.
So that I can reset that, and if I Wild Shape then rest, then I can't cast a spell.
Okay.
And it lasts for 8 hours, so I don't think we're going to be pushing against the limits of that too hard.
True.
Especially since this is a fairly long day, so we don't want to be running all night, technically.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we can see what we can see sneaking in here and hopefully at least get some intel.
All right, hello everyone. So you're about a mile away from town. It's 6 in the evening, so what are you going to do?
Alright, so first I'm going to go ahead and burn a pair of second level spell slots to cast Dark Vision on Judge and on Darcy.
Okay.
Yay!
So they now have Dark Vision out to 60 feet for the next 8 hours.
Fair enough.
And that's not a concentration spell, so it's going to hold that whole time. I'm also going to Wild Shape into a Giant Constrictor Snake. And then we'll take the rest.
All right. So you're resting for an hour?
Yep.
Okay, so you rest for an hour. It's definitely getting dark. So what do you do next?
All right. So so this is dark enough. So
Yeah.
shall we move on?
It's definitely getting dark.
All right.
All right. So as you approach the town, it starts coming. As it comes into view, you can see the fog starting to increase as you get closer. You cross the bridge. It's a fairly sturdy stone bridge. No obvious signs of damage yet. But as you cross the other side, the fog becomes thick enough that even your dark vision doesn't pierce it. So you can see about roughly 45 feet in front of you. And you notice, though, as you enter the town, you can see the worn streets, dirt and grime everywhere. You start to notice that as you go certain directions, you wind up back in the same section of town. And you also notice that Cyclonin, who was a moment ago a giant snake, After passing a certain point, he disappears into the fog and reappears back as his regular cyclonan self. So I'm going to take you back to the map.
I am thinking the spatial relations in this place are not quite accurate, but what has happened to you, my brother?
Hold on, let me get.
I don't know, but I do not like it.
Hold on one moment.
Oh, are we wandering around in mystical mazes again?
Yes, and apparently they are canceling our brother's wild shape. We must be on guard.
You might have to zoom in. Looks like it was zoomed out. But anyway, as you enter, you can see the limit of your view. You can see off to your left a large, a large flat-topped building with several towers jutting out, and to the south you see a temple of some sort. And as the road continues, you can see a large stone fence that blocks your view. And you notice that as you look up, you can no longer see the sky, you just see fog. And as you look forward, the fog gets thicker and thicker until you cannot see through it anymore. And off in the distance, you can see the flicker of movement. But as you look and scan to try to make out what it is, there's nothing there. And given the current situation with the group, the 3.5 players and all that. Oh, Gizzard, you can see nothing. Before I do anything else, let's get you so you can see something. Gizzard, can you see stuff now?
I can.
All right. So, given the situation with the group, I think I will probably call it a little early here, because at this point in time, things like combat are possible. So it would be good when everybody has full access to things. But now that you've arrived, like I said, the things you've noticed is that if you leave this area that you're in, you wind up back in this area again. You've noticed that if you shapeshift, and you assume this would apply to polymorph and similar spells, the shape dissolves and you wind up back in your regular form. As your arcane senses flare, Judge, you get the sense that spells that might change you into mist or clouds, or spells that might allow you to teleport, you feel like those would not work. You feel like until you figure out how to escape, you are stuck in this section of the town. And so I think that is where we'll end the session.
Scary.
Sorry it's a little early, but it'd be nice to get more people who have access to their character sheets and stuff. But hopefully it'll be interesting to explore this town and figure out what's going on here next session.
Yeah. I feel like a welcome.
Well, we at least got this far, and now we can start we just arrived in Silent Hill, so now we can start exploring it.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And hopefully all the electrical issues and everything are resolved by next week, and nice if Joel could to attend and so forth. So I'm going to start the recording.